Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
All right, guys, welcome. London session. Welcome. Live session. For those who don't know my name, I am Nathan Williams, the developer of AIRO. Glad that you guys jumped on the call with me. We're gonna look to have some fun, learn a little bit tonight, and hopefully catch some pips. All right. So quick rundown, real quick. We're gonna always start the call off with a disclaimer. All right. So here's the disclaimer. As you guys can see, I'm sharing my screen here. Trading foreign exchange currency is a risk, even when utilizing software and analysis tools. All right. I am not a financial advisor, neither is Auvoria Prime. We are simply just educating you on how to trade and utilize some of the tools in the financial market. We cannot guarantee that you will or will not make any money. All right. With that being said, let's shut that down and talk a little ground rules. So like always, if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A box. All right. That way I can get to them and I see those. I will stop periodically from time to time to answer questions in the Q&A. Let's see what else. A couple quick announcements. Number one, if you have not registered for the live event, please make sure to do so. The links are in every group possible. Live event at the end of the month to kind of hear the vision of the company and where we're going to next. And for those who are utilizing AIRO, to find out where AIRO is going next. Big plans coming, big things coming. All right. Let's check out the Q&A. All right. So someone asked about the morning calls, the live morning calls. So for the live morning calls, that link is shared in the channel. So if you're in the, make sure that you're in the AIRO bag chat, make sure you're also in the AIRO announcements channel. That link will be posted in both channels so that you can actually have the link to be able to log in. Same way that it was shared for this call that you're on now is the same way it'll be shared for New York session in the morning. All right. Someone asked for a list of pairs. So if you guys go through my setup videos in the back office, I list all 10 pairs that I recommend. All right. All 10 pairs. I recommend all 10. All right. So we'll go through those again. But again, make sure you watch the videos, guys, that have all the information for you. That way, when you come to these calls, you're ready to roll. Someone asked about inviting guests. No, guests are not allowed to this call. If you want to invite guests to a call, we have a, and actually I apologize. Let me go ahead and do it now. I'm going to start streaming. So if you're in any of the groups that the video is streaming, make sure to go ahead and set up a watch party for the stream. That way your guests can watch. So your guests can watch the live streams. Also, anybody that's coming across your page can watch the live stream. So we are streaming live now in 5 different Facebook groups. If you are in any of these groups, make sure to go ahead and get a watch party rolling as well. If you go to the Auvoria Prime page, go to that page and you can actually start a watch party as well. All right. All right. Take a look here. Not really sure what you mean by things have changed as far as settings wise. Settings all stay the same. We've never changed any settings. Not really sure what you mean by changing of settings. The only thing that hasn't changed, it was just added, has been the option to actually set up your set up your actual your money zone based on your time frame. So we have not changed any settings. Asia breakout for Euro AUD. Let's go take a look at it. All right. So let's see, Ethereum, Euro AUD. First candle, we're just waiting for it to close. So Asia session breakout. First thing we want to do is we want to zoom out all the way. We have 4 of each color. So we can trade in both directions as long as what? As long as we have more than 50 pips room between the 2 middle zones, which we do. We've got 86 pips. All right. So Asia session, let's go take a look at it. Remember, it's got to be less than 50 pips. Asia session at the body here. And here. Let's zoom in to make sure that's accurate. All right, that's good there. And then we want to put the Asia session at the body. All right, we do this so that we can measure the distance between, measure the actual width of the Asia channel. Asia channel is 42 pips. So if this holds steady, we could potentially be in for a nice ride down on EA. We got over 30 pips room. So in about 4 minutes, we'll be looking for a breakout on the Asia channel for EA. Let's look at the rest of the Euro pairs. They look like they want to head down a little bit there. Euro NZD, Euro JPY is kind of heading down, but it's got a little support right there. Euro GBP, like it's trying to break out of that support, but it still has some more support right here. I'm a little iffy on that EA, but it does have some good push through right there. So we will see how it all plays out here. Let's go look at the GBP pairs. G pairs, uptrend. Zoom out. We're in an uptrend on GU. For this, if this is going to be an Asia session breakout, it needs to close above this zone here and make this zone disappear. GA is headed down. GJ is just ranging. G Chef is headed up. GCAD is ranging. GBP NZD ranging. So I'm not taking any GBP pairs on the Asia breakout. If you guys remember, Asia breakout is mainly for the GBP pairs. So I wouldn't be looking to take that trade specifically on EA because it is not a GBP pair. Now, can it work? Sure. But I wouldn't be looking to take that trade per se. But who knows? We'll look at it. We're going to keep looking at it. We may receive a AIRO as well. Matter of fact, we've already received our AIRO, so I'm actually going to go down to the 5 minute and see what this looks like. So we're going to go to the strategy of multi-time frame trading. And yep, we don't have anything right here on the 5 minute. All right. So we'll go back to the 15 minute. Look at that. Euro NZD, it's just sitting there. Euro JPY, trying to trend down, but more or less just sitting there. Euro GBP is trying to break down. We might have some movement down to the downside. All right, so we'll look at that here shortly. We'll come back. But remember, Asia breakout is for GBP pairs. All right. Everyone keeps asking about the fib strategies, so we will go over that. Everyone is asking about it. Exactly. You can trade the Asia breakout on other pairs as well, but the strategy is mainly for pound pairs, GBP pairs. However, as you guys know, the euros also are London session pairs. All right, but it is mainly for GBP pairs. All right. Somebody remind me is there. Let's make sure we go look at the news. ForexFactory.com, my FX books, so that you can actually monitor the news and we can see what is going on. G Chef number 4, negative. Number 4. Let's go look at that real quick. G Chef strategy number 4. Let's go look at it. G Chef. G-Chef, strategy number 4, which is going to be the breakout of the money zone. All right. Matter of fact, while I got the account up, show you guys here. Been building this account up since $200. I'm actually making a video on my journey to show everyone that you don't need a large account to make big growth. So look out for that video on my YouTube channel. All right, look out for the video on the YouTube channel to come to show that AIRO can be used on smaller accounts. And then we'll make a video later on to see what kind of damage we can do with the big account. For those who think you need a lot of money to trade, you don't. So the reason why I wouldn't take strategy number 4 on G-Chef, as you guys know, from a standpoint of kind of correlation, yeah, we're everything is all over the place. We're ranging. We got to break above it of the money zone. Ranging. I'm not looking to take that buy. Not even close. Euro GBP trying to push down. Euro JPY. If you're in a Euro JPY trade, you can see here that the opposite zone popped up. You should have already closed that trade out. All right. Should have already closed that trade out. Euro NZD trying to head down. Euro AUD trying to head down. I'm not taking the trade because, again, strategy is for pound pairs. Does it work on others? Sure. So if you want to take that for Euro, you can. I'm not going to look to take that trade because I only use that strategy on the pound pairs. Gold, not really doing much of nothing. Look at some crypto. Ethereum in a buy trade. We just got a bag entry. Where my Ethereum people at? Ethereum, we got a bag entry. M5 on Ethereum. Bag entry on Ethereum. Is this the right time to trade? We looking to take this trade? What are we doing? What are we doing? If you're going to trade Ethereum, make sure to use a 0.01 lot size. All right, guys? 0.01. All right. I might pull the trigger on that one. XRP USD looking like it wants to move up. Bitcoin, the same thing. They all typically correlate together, guys. Bitcoin. Look at that formation. They look almost identically the same. All right. Let me stop sharing. I know some of my Ethereum guys are in here. Let's see here. Let's look in the chat. Where my Ethereum guys at? Vlad, where you at, man? ETH. Nobody here? Man, y'all gonna put the pressure on me. Let's see what we look like here. Let's see what we look like. We might take this trade, guys. We might take this trade. I ain't taking it, man. I don't know cryptocurrency like that. And I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong because this thing could run up. So that's 255 pips to go up that way. So I'm not touching it. I don't really trade cryptocurrency like that. I have it on my chart because I'm now starting to follow it a little more often as I'm trying to gauge what the best time of the day is to trade cryptocurrency. All right. So in 41 minutes, we have GDP pair news. It's just low volume news. And then we also have some medium photo news and some red photo news. So 40 minutes. So it's going to be 1 a.m. my time. We'll have some news, a lot of news for pound pairs. So that should get the ball rolling. So I'm not looking to touch any pound pairs right now due to the fact that we have pound pair news coming for both medium, low, and high. So all three coming. So we'll sit tight on that. So while we're sitting tight, let's go over the fib strategy. Let me find the one that qualifies real quick. All right, we can do this one here. Bitcoin, mini 5. I'll show you guys how to apply it. All right, so as you can see here, we are in a downtrend. You zoom out all the way, more red zones than green zones. So we know we're looking for sales, right? We know we are looking for sales. For those of you guys want to know what strategy we're looking at, we're going to go over strategy number 8, which is the Fibonacci strategy. All right. Now on Bitcoin, beautiful setup. So on Bitcoin, we're in the sale. You can see that what you want to do is you want to ensure you have blue skies, as I call it. That means nothing below you for major pips. All right. So what you're looking for is your pullback. We know we're in a downtrend. You're looking for your previous pullback or retrace, which, if we know we're in a downtrend, we're looking for green candles above the moving average that are planted at the resistance zone right here, the highest point. Then as it drops, you're waiting for the next pullback, which is right here. The pullback is this first candle right here. This candle right here. This candle. The first one to close above the moving average. We know we're in a downtrend, so everything should be underneath the moving average. So we're waiting for the first one to close above. All right. Once we see that, first thing you should do is zoom all the way out, identify the trend. If the trend is a downtrend, your fibs can be set up. So you must, again, have a previous retrace and then the current retrace. At the time you see a current retrace, you zoom out to identify the trend. If the trend is down and you have this setup, and you have blue skies underneath you for hundreds of pips, you're good to set up your fibs. Now, here are the fibs. And I'll pull these guys out and show you guys the settings so that you guys can ensure you have these on yours as well. So for my fib settings, I have the 100, the 79, the 62, the 50, the 38, the 0, the negative 38, the negative 50, the negative 62. Right? If you need to know how to do that, your fibs will be here. It'll be the one that has a little F on it, on its bottom line here, this bottom toolbar. If you don't have these toolbars, what you want to do is you want to go to View, Toolbars, turn on all 4 of your toolbars here, and then also have on the status bar and the charts bar. These 2 need to be turned on. All 4 of these need to be turned on under View. Once you have that set up, you'll have everything you see I have here. Pull out your fibs, open them up like this. You put them on the chart, hold down the mouse, drag it down. It'll widen your fibs. Double click on them so you get the 3 white lines here. That way you can right click on one of the white dots and then select Fibo Properties. Under Fibo Properties, this is where you want to add all your settings. So under Common, I have mine as red. Red is just this dotted line. All right, that's just the dotted line. The swing high, the swing low, or the swing low, the swing high. I'll explain how that works. All right. Then I turn mine to red and dotted line so it's easy to see. All right. Next, you want to go to Fibo levels. All right, which is the Fibonacci. You want to then put in all your levels. So you remember, I have all these levels right here. I have all those levels. So I type them in. If you don't have them, cool. If you do have them, change them, double click on them, and just type in the new level. Double click, type. Double click, type. All right. So for the level, here's the technical levels you want to put in here. The description is just what they are. All right. So on the levels, though, under level, you need to double click and put the right number in there. For the first one, 0, just needs to be 0. And the description 0. All right. For the 38, you need to put in 0.38. And then description 38. For the level for 62, you need to put in 0.62. And then 62 for the description. For the level on 79, 0.79. And then for the description, 79. And then you need to put in for the level, negative 0.38. And then for the description, negative 38. Negative 0.5. Description, negative 50. Level, negative 0.62. Negative 62. And then for the level for 100, just type 1. And then for description, 100. I put my style as yellow. That way it kind of stands out based on the colors I have. And those are the settings. All right, those are the settings. All right, take a picture of these levels right now here, guys. So you have these for later if you didn't catch on fast enough. All right, take a picture, screenshot, whatever the case may be. All right, now what do? Now, delete this here. You grab your fibs. You want to go to the highest point, the highest wick on this chart for your previous retrace. This is your previous retrace. This is our current retrace. If we're imagining we're right here. We put our cursor, the bullseye, right there where the highest wick is at. We click and hold down our mouse and we drag. All right, we drag. All right, and you see the dotted line, and we come down to the lowest point. All right, now you can see I let go right here. The 100 line is here. I put the 100 here, so we're in a sell trend. So you draw your fibs from swing high to swing low. This is the highest point. This is the lowest point before the retrace. All right, highest point, lowest point, swing high to swing low, top to bottom. Again, if you're confused by this, guys, make sure to go back and watch strategy number 8. Both videos are out. You can watch those over and over again until it clicks. All right. Now, once you've done that, you want to make sure your 100 is at the swing high. That's what I have here, the 100. And at the swing low, the 0. All right. Now, once you've done that, what you're waiting for now is the rejection off of one of the pairs, off of one of the fib levels. All we care about is the 38, the 50, the 62. As you can see here, our second candle, we had a rejection off of the 38, as well as out the zone. It's this red resistance zone is here. It rejected the 38 and the resistance zone. It came back, rejected it again inside the resistance zone. So the 38 played out twice. So if you didn't take it the first time, you definitely should have taken it the second time. Because not only did you have a hammer right here, you also had a bearish engulfing candle. So if you didn't get an entry right here, you should have had an entry right here. And then if you missed it, if you missed it, you missed it, because there is no rejection over here. I would have took this trade over here because you see a double top. I'm seeing 2 rejections at the same point. But your initial entries should have been in one of these 2 areas. All right, one of these 2 areas. Now, because it rejected at the 38, guess what? TP1 is going to be at the 0, and then the final TP will be at the negative 38. So let's go see how it panned out. Beautiful. So let's say we took the first entry. The first entry to the 0 line, and this is Bitcoin on the 5-minute chart, you would have caught 502 pips. 502 pips. All right. And then if you took it to the true final take profit, which is at the negative 38, you hit that sometime today and you'd have had 1,207 pips. 1207. Oh, look at it trying to run up. Look at it trying to run up. Let's go look at ETH. What's ETH doing? ETH trying to run up a little bit? I ain't touching it. I ain't touching it. I don't trust crypto right now. I don't trade it much. But that's it. 520 at TP1, 1207 for TP2. It's that easy. That's how you draw your fibs in the sell format. All right? That's how you draw the fibs. And you know you're in the right because your fibs stay above the zone. All right? So we knew our TP, our final TP was right here, so we are in the clear. That is how you draw the fibs. All right? It works even on Bitcoin. Works even on Bitcoin, works on indices. For those who were on New York session this morning, Jackie Panada was on the call, and she trades S&P 500 with fibs. All right, with the fibs. All right, that's how you draw the fibs, guys. Let's go take a look at Q&A real quick. So Forex Factory and MyFX Book will not always have the same news. That's why I use both. All right, that's why I use both. Can't use just one. All right. I don't really look to analyze news. What I do is I stay away from news when I see that it's medium or red folders. So the question was asked, can you show us how to look and analyze news and to know why it's good or bad news for it? All I look at is the folders. All right. Let me show you guys on my screen if I can show you. So if you guys see on my screen here, if I can show it to you, let's see here if it's any good. It's kind of bright. There we go. That's a little better. You can see here, I have a lot of medium folder news. You see it's yellow. Then you scroll down, I got high news. At first, it was low. Then I would scroll down, saw medium, and I keep scrolling down, and you can see that you have one red folder, high news. That's all I care about. All I care about is the folder. I don't care what type of news it is. It doesn't matter if it's unemployment news. It doesn't matter if it's, election news. Yellow and red folders, I stay away from news until 5 to 10 minutes after it's over and things have cleared. For me, because I trade a 15-minute time frame, I typically wait 15 minutes. I want to wait one full candle. So the news is going to happen here in about 28 minutes. So I'll be looking for pound pairs or GBP pair moves around 1:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, 15 minutes after the news. That's all I do. Make it quick and simple, guys. Make it quick, easy, and simple. So question was asked, what trade can we use for counter trend strategy? You can use it on any trade. You just have to trade it at the right time. So the question was, why is Forex Factory and MyFX Book News so different? Which one is the most trustworthy? Don't know why they're different. They pull information from different places, different sources. What you want to do is use both. All right. Does the 50 pip rule apply between two zones, apply to all strategies? No. So the only time you worry about the 50 pip rule is if you have the same number of zones. And if you're looking for a bag entry trade, you're looking for the same number of zones. That's it. It's the only strategy we talked about. Other than that, guys, again, don't overthink it. Don't assume one strategy applies to another one. Stick to the rules of one set of the strategies, and you'll be good. Do not complicate it for yourself. Not looking at any cryptocurrencies, guys. Not looking at it. I don't trade crypto just yet. We'll be getting on crypto. I'm looking for, again, if you guys are crypto traders, I want to add crypto. I want to add it to a London session, but we need some people that are proficient in crypto trading. Right now, for me, I'm not a proficient trader. I haven't traded long enough. I trade basic bag entries when I see the market is moving well enough. Let's go look at that Euro AUD trade. Not bad for those who took that trade. If you took that trade, oops, if you took that trade, if you took the trade, you're in a little drawdown right now. If you took that trade there. Oh, hold on. No, you should be up on this trade. This is the first candle. Yep, if you took this trade, you should be up about 4 or 5 pips. Again, I don't take that trade because, again, I use the agent session breakout strategy only on pound pairs. Only on pound pairs. So GU is starting to try to move up. GA moving down. GJ. moving up. G-Chef moving up. G-Cat ranging. GBP NZD is ranging. So they're all over the place. We'll see what the news does. So we kind of get an idea of what we're looking for. And again, guys, because of the correlation between pound pairs and euro pairs and news coming out for the pound pairs, I would caution even entering any trades on euros because they correlate. So if you see one moving very fast the opposite direction, one way, the other one's probably moving the opposite direction. That's the beautiful thing about pound pairs. I mean, about correlating pairs. You kind of already know what's going to happen. So, and you're already starting to see that. Big moves are already starting to happen on certain pairs already with certain news. That's why you got this real comeback strong because news is getting closer. All right. News is getting closer. All right. GBP USD. Will we take the trade for the Asia breakout? Potentially. We're a little late though. This candle was the first one to break above the Asia session, but it's inside the zone. I wish we'd have broke through the zone. That might have been decent. But we're just gonna sit and wait, guys. We got news coming out in 22 minutes. 22 minutes and counting. Let's go answer some more questions. So somebody told me that in all my examples, there are blue skies. They tell me that there's blue skies because zones used to be there, price broke through them. So I will show you guys a live example. Matter of fact, the Bitcoin example was live. So those trades, guys, sometimes they could be, they're great examples, but may not be real life. But I can tell you that there are many times where you have blue skies. As you can clearly see here, how do I know there were blue skies here with Bitcoin? Because I've been watching it all day. So do not assume because it looks like a clean trade that it wasn't, all right? If you're not watching the chart yourself, then you won't know. So you need to be able to watch the charts yourself to know there's blue skies. Just because I have examples in my videos, don't assume that they're staged. I watch the charts quite often, actually all day. All right, guys, like Bitcoin, I've been watching it all day. So these, from a blue sky standpoint, the only green zone that was there is this one here. All right. So a lot of these, again, you need to make sure you have blue skies. This is a live example of blue skies. When we got to this entry right here, there was nothing below it. All right. Now, again, if there was something on your chart below it, it's because you may have a different broker than the one that I use. All right. May have a different broker. Keep that in mind, guys. Different broker. Matter of fact, let me switch over to my other broker because I am currently in the FTMO challenge like everyone else that are using it. So I'm going to use my FTMO broker. As you can clearly see here, it looks slightly different just because we are using a different broker. G-Chef, let's go to the other one. G-Chef. And let's go to G-Chef. As you can see here, G-Chef has no zone here. But in my FTMO broker, I do have one here. Brokers are going to have different price points and therefore are going to have different zones in certain places. So just because my chart shows clear skies and yours doesn't mean that mine wasn't really blue skies, or zones weren't there. Everybody's broker is different if you use a different broker. All right. Now, go answer some more questions, guys. Got some more questions. Oil. Somebody asked me to check oil. I don't trade oil. Not right now. It's a New York session pair. Make sure when you come to your indices, your golds, your oils, trade them when they're supposed to be traded. You may be able to get away with that with Forex pairs, but on precious metals and energies, trade them when it's time to be traded. You can't trade everything all day long. It doesn't work that way. And if you are trading and you wonder why you're losing, that is why. You must trade to be consistent because you might catch a trade here and there, but you must trade during the session that they are traded the most. Someone asked about the fib strategy. Should both rejections be touching the resistance level? No. All we care about is the rejection off the fib level. That's it. If it happens to coincide with the resistance or the opposite with the support level in the opposite trade, that's just a bonus. All right. Buy fib. We'll try to find a buy fib later, since everybody keeps asking about the fibs. A fib works on everything, guys. Fib works on everything. Somebody asked about fib on AUD CAD. Let's go see if it set up. Let's go see if it sets up. AUD CAD. Gotta have the right setup. I don't. Let's see here. I know I gotta add it because I don't trade AUD CAD. AUD CAD is in a downtrend, as we can see. So if you drew a fib, you would have drew it like 2 days ago. Not today, or not yesterday, day before. Reason being, this zone, as you can see, started here. All right, so you wanted to draw it when this was above, or your, so your retracement, and here's your new retracement right here. All right, so let's go draw the fib here. You draw it, swing high, highest point to swing low. All right, swing high to swing low. All right, we zoom in. All right, we drew it from swing high to swing low. All right, as you can see, we had a hammer here off the 50, off the 50. We had another hammer here off the 50. So clearly the 50 was respected multiple times. You can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the 50 was hit. So the 50 is our level. All right, the 50 is our level. Hammer here, I probably would have been in. No, this one, no. I'd have been here on this one. I'll explain why. I'd have been in on this one. Here's the reason. Let me change this to a different color. Here's the reason. Let's change that to white. Okay. All right. So the reason why I'm in on this one is because, remember, you're waiting for the retracement, which means you're waiting for the first candle to close above the moving average. This hammer, even though it rejected the 50, the candle never closed. So never is not a really true retracement. This candle right here is the first retracement because it's the first candle that closes above the moving average. So you kind of just wait until you get a setup, and boom, you have here, this candle right here is a doji rejection, but you have the hammer right here. So I'm entering in on this candle right here. So the 50, I'm looking for what? I'm looking for TP1. I'm looking for TP1 to go to the 0 line, which boom is 17 pips. And it clearly went there. So you cleared that out. It dropped even more. It dropped 26 pips. But, and then your TP2 and 3 are further down, which it clearly didn't hit because it met a zone. So you're the TP right here at 17 pips. Your stop loss would have been what? It would have been 5 pips above the fib level from the level it rejected. So it rejected at the 50, which means the fib level 62 is what you're looking for. All right. Oh man, my fib levels are wrong here. Hold on real quick, guys. I have not used fibs on my FTMO account, so I need to set up these correctly. For those who are wondering what FTMO is, the FTMO is a proprietary trading company. And what they do is, so we got the 0, we have actually let me delete this. We have the 38. We have the 50. We have the 62. 62. We have the 100. We got the 78.6, which we round up to the 79. We have the negative 27, which we don't use. So we use the negative 0. 38, negative 0.38, which is a negative 38. And we got to add one. We have the negative 0.50, which is the negative 50. And then we have the negative 0.62, which is the negative 62. All right, there we go, there we go. So again, rejection at the 50, which means your stop loss would have been 5 pips above the 62. Here's the 62, count 5 pips. Right here at 98,241. Boom, boom, boom. And you can clearly see here that entry was here. That's a 13 pip stop loss for 17 pip profit. Again, some pairs don't have the best moves. AUD CAD is not a high ADR pair. All right. It's not a high ADR pair. I gave you guys the list of the high ADR pairs. So someone asked about what pairs I recommend. As you can clearly see here, GBP pairs, all 6 of them. GBP USD, GBP CHF, GBP JPY, GBP NZD, GBP AUD, and GBP CAD. All right. Those are the 6 pound pairs I recommend. And then from a euro standpoint, I recommend Euro GBP, Euro JPY, Euro AUD, Euro NZD. Those are the 10 pairs I recommend. All right. Those are the 10 I recommend. And there's a reason why I recommend those, because they have high ADR. If you don't know what ADR stands for, ADR stands for average daily range, the number of pips a currency pair moves on average per day. All right. The more pips it moves, the more volatile it is. The more volatile it is, the more opportunity you have to catch those 20 pips or more. All right. We just went over how to change the fib numbers again. I just did it live for you guys. All right. So Dante called FTMO a gimmick. So, you know, traders look at FTMO in multiple ways. FTMO has strict rules, and so they force you to trade very conservatively, whereas somebody else who may have their own large account can trade more aggressively. So as a trader, since Dante is a Forex trader himself, he may want to trade more aggressively, which means he wouldn't pass the results. He wouldn't pass the stipulations that FTMO utilizes, because he's a little bit more of an aggressive trader and he has a higher level of risk, whereas FTMO would not allow you to have as much risk because it's their money. The beautiful thing about FTMO is if you don't have a $50,000 account or a $100,000 account, all right, and you're a good trader, you can pay a fee, pass their test, and get access to the money. And because you get access to that large amount of money, you can then do what? You can now have the opportunity to do what? Make money off of their money. All right. That's what it's about. It's all about being able to make money off of other people's money. That's the beautiful thing about FTMO. So some may call it a gimmick, but there are a lot of traders who respect it. So it's really just a personal opinion. And Dante, he and I have talked about that, and he's more or less thinks it's a gimmick from the standpoint of the stipulations they put on you. All right. Exactly. Only getting access to 5K. More than that, really. So to give you guys an idea, if you have a $100,000 account, you can't lose more than $5,000 in one day or $10,000 total over the course of 30 days. So technically, you're trading with a $10,000 account. All right. And that's the stipulation that people feel like, oh, it's a gimmick. But again, there are some traders who have very tight stop losses and they trade very conservatively and they respect FTMO and what they do. Then there's some who are more aggressive who can stomach higher levels of drawdown, And therefore, they think that FTMO holds them back. So it all depends on your preference of how you trade. If you're a more aggressive trader and you can handle more drawdown, then FTMO is not for you. If you're a very conservative trader, but you consistently trade and make profits every day with tight stop losses and lower lot sizes, then FTMO may be for you, so that you can get a larger account size and start making more profits, because they do allow you to keep 70% of your profits. So it's all depending on, again, your level, your way of trading. So it all depends on how you trade. So again, he calls it a gimmick. That's his personal opinion. And it actually really depends on the type of trader. He's a more aggressive trader. So all depends on your personal preference of trading. All right, that's the way I look at it. Someone asked about GU breakout. We're not going to look at it right now because GU, again, guys, like we talked about, we have news coming in 8 minutes. So we're not looking at any pound pairs right now. All right, if an opposite colored zone pops up while you're using the fib strategy, it's the same strategy as everything else. You get out of a trade for 3 reasons. Your stop loss is hit, your take profit is hit, or an opposite colored zone pops up. Those are the 3 reasons you get out of a trade for every strategy. All right, every strategy. When I re-record all the strategies, so once I drop strategy number 10, I'm going to go back and re-record everything, and I'm going to strictly put rules because everyone is not catching on to the theme. So I want to make it as simple as possible so that you guys don't confuse strategies. I'm going to go put every rule for every strategy. Plus the PDF is getting ready to come out. When I finish number 10, we'll have a PDF out. That way there's no confusion. And if there is confusion, it just means you're not reading. So we'll know who's not reading, who's not reading. I don't have any thoughts on the market tomorrow. I don't speculate. I trade what the market gives me. All right. So I don't really care what's going on. I trade with them, even when I'm using fib. Fib tells you where the market may be going, but I trade what's in front of me. So if I get an opposite colored zone that pops up while I'm in the trade, I get out. I trade what's in front of me. Never try to guess what's gonna happen. You trade what's in front of you. All right. Because if you guess and it goes wrong, you're gonna be blaming, oh, Nate, your strategy didn't work. I never told you to guess. I told you to trade what's in front of you. I told you why to get out of certain trades. There's a reason why you get out of a trade when you are, when there's an opposite color zone pops, arises, because that is an opportunity. If you're in a sell, that's a support level, which means that price could bounce off the support, head the opposite direction. Same thing for a buy. It's the resistance, turns the other way. All right. You want to always take high probability trades. And that also means make high probability decisions of risking capital. Most trades will not hit the 40 pip stop loss when it comes to the bag entry. Most of them will hit. You'll lose trades. You lose trade at somewhere between break even and minus 10, 15 pips, because an opposite zone will pop up and you'll get out of the trade before it hits 40 pip stop loss. All right. No, we're not doing $80,000 challenge. I'm talking about the $100,000 challenge. All right. I just showed you guys AIRO on the FTMO chart. So yes, AIRO is on the FTMO chart. Yes, I've used AIRO on binary. Look out for binary later on. We've talked about that, guys. It's coming later on, so wait for us to launch that. As I explained, depending on your broker, dictates if you will have the same setup as me. I utilize multiple brokers. So depending on what broker you're using, dictates if you have a perfect setup for fibs or not. All right. Please do not argue with me, guys, because it depends on what broker you're using. I just showed you 2 different brokers and they had 2 different setups. Again, we'll go through and show that real quick, guys. If you see here, GBP CHF on 2 different brokers, One had the zone, one didn't have the zone. All right. Here is the FTMO broker. This is Hugo's way. One had a zone, one didn't have a zone. Brokers will always have a different setup. All right. Different brokers means different setups. It may not be the same as mine. I'm showing you guys the strategies on how to trade them so that when you do get the ideal setup, you can do what? You can then place the trade with that strategy. All right. That's all. I'm just showing you these setups. So you wait for the perfect setup. When you have the setup, trade it. That's why there's more than one strategy, so that if you don't have the setup, you can trade a different strategy. All right. Someone asked, when is gold traded most? Gold is a New York session pair. So New York session is when I would trade gold. How long do you wait to pull out of a trade? So I explained the 3 ways that I exit trades. All right. The 3 ways I exit trades. It hits take profit, it hits stop loss, or an opposite colored zone pops up. That's it. Those are the 3 times. So if you've been in a trade for hours, you just wait until one of those 3 become true. That's when I pull out of a trade. The time frame for gold, New York session, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right. In strategy video number 2, I go over all the sessions. I believe it's strategy number 2. GBP money zone breakout. We're not looking at any trades, guys. No trades. News in 2 minutes. Not looking at any trade. We don't trade. There's high and medium news. If you're just getting on the call, there's high and medium news. So we're not looking at any trades right now. All right. Why not Euro USD? One, Euro USD has low ADR pairs. It's a low ADR pair. Number 2, Euro USD is mainly a New York session pair. So this is London session. We're not looking for Euro moves. For Euro USD moves. Yes, Euros do move in London, but Euro USD is a pair that's mainly traded during New York session. Plus, it's low ADR. I don't like low ADR pairs. Again, I trade my personal preference. That's why I'm trying to find somebody. If you guys know somebody that is proficient in trading cryptocurrency, we can start to have somebody on here that can trade cryptocurrencies as well. During London session, I'm going to trade the pairs that I know have the best opportunity for catching pips because they move during this time frame. And I will try to stay away from a lot of those New York session pairs because trading pairs that don't really move during the session, leads to a few things. Leads to stop loss being hit, also leads to being stuck in a trade for hours at a time. And then when New York session does arise, there are 2 things that happen in New York session. The trend continues or the trend turns around. That's where the counter trend strategy comes in play, is at the beginning of New York session. All right. Can the fib rejection happen at the fib level, or can it be over and under? It has to touch that fib level. All right. It has to touch the fib level. So if it goes above it and it comes back below it, that's fine, but it has to touch the fib level. Guys, the PDF will come out when all 10 strategies are out. All right. When all 10 strategies are out is when the PDF will come out. I'm not going to answer any questions about AIRO EA because I can tell you right now, AIRO EA will trade the bag entry method. Starting off, version 1, it's going to trade it the exact same way I teach you guys, which means it's going to take into consideration everything. Opposite color zone popping up, Everything. It's going to take everything into consideration. The EA will trade like I teach you guys to trade it. That's been the successful way to trade. All right. So from an EA standpoint, there is no projected time frame on when that's going to come out. Continue to wait. It'll be out when it is ready. All right. You guys are starting. You'll know when it's ready because I'll start to post results of it. And then those of you that have the opportunity to get in on the beta test will have the opportunity. All right. In the meantime, right now, it is not ready. All right. So we got news out. So we're looking to trade. We'll start looking for entries here in about 15 minutes or 13 minutes now. All right, 13 minutes. Let this news play out. Then we'll get in. News doesn't look like it affected too much. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. So someone asked me, would I stop taking trades inside the money zone towards the end of the day? Yes. It really depends on how the market is moving. And you can tell by how slow the candlesticks are moving. If you have good movement in the candlesticks, you typically have good volatility. And so really for me, it depends on how fast or slow those candlesticks are moving. And as you trade more often, you understand what I mean by that. You get to see how the trades are, how the candlesticks are moving. What I'd recommend for you guys is I would master, or I would only trade 2 or 3 pairs. The more you trade those 2 or 3 pairs, you master those pairs, the more efficient you'll be at trading those. All right. I know for 2 years out of the almost 5 years I've been trading Forex, I only traded the Great Britain pound, Japanese yen. And that and learning about the pound pairs while I trade that pair is why I am very proficient and understand the correlation. I understand all the breakouts. There's even a time strategy that I may add later on, but there's a certain time of day that you can trade the pound pairs every day for a certain breakout move. So I understand all the different strategies when it comes to the pound pairs because I stuck with trading GBP, JPY for 2 years straight. And while I was doing that, I was studying the Great Britain pound pairs, all of them. All right. So that is why, again, when I tell you guys don't enter in certain trades because of correlation, and as you guys have seen for the last few weeks, every time I say that, most of the time, the trades go the opposite direction, even though the rules apply. And that's just because I understand the pound pairs very, very well because I've studied them for so long. And as you get more time on the charts, you'll start to see things over and over again. Because again, the market is just full of patterns. Price does the same thing over and over and over again. All right, somebody asked about opinions on regulated brokers. So I cannot give any recommendations, but this is what I'll say. When it comes to brokers, you want to look for 2 things, or a list of things, I'm sorry. Number 1, you want to look for a broker that is regulated. And that regulated means that they report to the CFTC. They have to abide by the CFTC's rules and regulations. They're registered with the CFTC. So that's just like a stock, a company that you may be buying into. They are registered with the SEC. So the SEC governs the stock market. The CFTC, they govern the foreign exchange market. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2, you want to look for what I call a broker that is not trying to rip you off. So they don't take all the fees from you. So if you deposit $500, let's say you do it through Bitcoin, then you get $500 in your account instead of $500 minus the Bitcoin fee. Also, when you withdraw $500, you get $500. All right. Next, I would look for a broker that has low spreads. So spreads, for those who don't know what spreads are, let's go take a look at them real quick. As you can see here, I have, and you can see it here barely, they're going in and out. You can see I have a red and a white line. All right. The red line is the ask. All right, that's the ask line. So if I push buy, the buy will be at this red line. The white line is the bid. So if I push sell, my entry will be at the white line. All right, so you always buy at the ask and you sell at the bid. The difference between the two, so you see there's a gap between them. The difference is called the spread. So you want the spread to be low for a couple of reasons. Number one reason is, let's say I put a sell in and I'm in here, right? I get in right here for a sell. Both red line and white line must be below the white line, my entry, before I'm in profit. Same thing if I'm in a buy. Both the red line and white line, the bid and the ask, must be above my entry before I'm in profit. The lower the spread, the faster you get into profit. The lower the spread, the lower your drawdown is when you first put a trade on. And that's kind of how that works. All right, that's how that works. So it's more beneficial to work with a broker that has low spreads because it allows you to get into profit faster. All right, typically also means you're going to pay less in fees. All right. Last two things that I recommend in a broker is number one, that they have a lot of offerings. So you want them to offer all the Forex pairs, not just the regular major Forex pairs, all the Forex crosses, as well as the Forex, what do you call them? All the Forex exotics. You also want to be able to trade indices, precious metals, energies, cryptocurrencies, and stocks. So you want a wide variety. That way you don't have to use multiple brokers to trade multiple things. Some brokers don't offer everything. So if you can find a broker that has everything, great. All right. And then last but not least, you want an A book broker. What is an A book broker? And is there another book broker? Yes, there is A book and B book. So I'll explain the latter first. A B book broker trades against you. So a B book broker will, as your trade is getting ready to take profit, it will open your spread. That way, both lines, like I explained, both lines have to go underneath or above your take profit line for you to trade to close out. What they'll do is they'll open the spread right when it gets to your take profit line. All right. They'll open the spread, which will, and then in hopes that price continues the other way around, and you'll have the opportunity. You've had an opportunity to lose out on potential money there. All right, because that trade did not close. A B book broker will also trade against you, meaning that they'll be on the other side of the trade. All right, trading against you. They manipulate the markets. You may see that on one broker, you have a real long, like during news, a real long wick. And then on another broker, no wick. And you're wondering, well, what happened? That's called price manipulation. All right. The brokers know exactly where your take profit is at. They also know where your stop loss is at. You're using their platform. So they can manipulate the market and say, oh, news is out. We're going to spike the market to take all the stop losses out and then bring it back down. And another broker may not. So you want to make sure you use a broker that does not manipulate it. That's what B book brokers do. A book broker, all they care about is volume. So they're going to incentivize you with low spreads. They're going to incentivize you with no fees on deposits and withdrawals so that you can spend and put your money in their account, because they're going to charge you a commission. As you guys know, you always pay a commission for every trade you use, and it dictates depending on what lot size you use. And so with that being said, those are what I would look for in a broker. I can't recommend any to you publicly here on the platform, but if you want to DM me, I can tell you what brokers that I use. I have international brokers. I also have US brokers. So for those of you who are out of the country watching this live stream, I have brokers for you, that meet those criteria. And I have brokers for those who are in the US. And again, AIRO works with any broker. You can use any broker you want. You don't have to use the ones that I utilize. But if you want to know who's that meet the criteria, I can share those with you privately. To contact me, either you can hit me up on Telegram or on Instagram. I just put my handle in the chat. So at Nate Got the Bag on Instagram or at Nate Got the Bag on Telegram, if you're in the Telegram chats. And I can explain to you, or I can, let you know what I use. And again, you can use who you want. There are many brokers out there. Make sure you do your research and see if those criteria meet your standards. If they do, hey, great, that's a great broker to use. If you want to use who I use, hey, great, use who I use. And it may make it easier to use who I use because what I see, you'll see. So on my videos, when I re-record, when I re-record and when we're on these live sessions, you'll see the exact same charts that I see. You'll have the exact same setups that I have. That way, it'll be a little easier for you guys to follow along, with setups. All right, because we'll be looking at the same thing. If a candle closes below or above moving average, if on a buy or sell, I don't really care. If I'm in a trade, I only get out for 3 reasons. Hits my stop loss, hits my take profit, opposite zone appears. Someone said AIRO's a cheat code. That's what people have been telling me. I'm thankful you guys take the opportunity to test out the product, and you guys are winning with it. So, I definitely ecstatic by seeing some of the results. Those who are, changing their dreams. I mean, people are passing FTMO challenges who don't have $100,000 accounts who now have access to bigger accounts, and they like trading with, lower risk, and they're being able to trade with more money. Even if if you look at it, really, you're able to trade with 10,000. That's still 10,000 more than you had before. Then those who are trading with their own money are now seeing, bigger winning percentages. So they're winning more often. And that's the whole goal, is to be consistent. That was the whole goal, is to ensure that everyone, had the opportunity to trade and be consistent, with the actual product. I am looking for some testimonials, video testimonials. So if anybody wants to give a testimonial out, need some testimonials to be able to share with people, please reach out to me. Same way on Instagram at Nate Got the Bag, or in Telegram at Nate Got the Bag. Need some testimonials of those who are using the product. So I appreciate that if you guys can reach out, and we get some of these testimonials going. All right. Is the AIRO EA going to come out on Auvoria? Yes. So everything I talked about, guys, will come out through Auvoria Prime. That's who I've partnered with, and and you guys are going to get that coming out through AP. All right. Where do you see the news? Forex Factory doesn't show anything today. So I use Forex Factory as well as MyFX Books. So I use both. There's so there's 2 different platforms I use. All right, that's 2 different platforms I use. All right, so we are now 15 minutes after the news. Before I answer any more questions, let's go look at some trades real quick. Let's see what we got. All right, left to right, GU is up there. G Chef in the zone. GJ, GBP, NZD. You know what I don't like? I need to set my broker's time frame. I didn't set my broker's time frame, so my money zone is showing incorrectly on the new broker. So you guys get to show or get to see how you change the broker live. So we are 1:15 a.m. right on this candle. So we need to go back 5 candles until midnight. So counting the current candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my last broker was 0800 to 2000. As you can clearly see here on this broker's time frame, midnight, my time, Central Standard Time, was at 0700. All right, 0700, 5 candles ago. 0700. I can see 0700 down here on the very bottom. 2021, 0120, 0700. That was 5 candles ago. That was the start of the money zone. So on this new broker, now that I know that, what I'll do is I right click on indicators list. I go to AIRO. I've got version 3 that's going to be coming out for you guys this weekend. I'm just testing it out to make sure everything is lovely with it. 0700, I'm changing it. And I add 12 hours. So 0700 means now I need to go to 1900. That is how you change the broker's time frame. You make sure you know what it 12 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time is, like I put right here, is on the chart, and you just convert it to whatever your broker's time is. 12 a.m. Central Standard Time is 0700 on this FTMO broker. So if you're using FTMO, it's 0700 to 1900 is the money zone. And the beautiful thing is, when you set it to this time frame, 12 a.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. Central Standard, which converts to 0700 to 1900, no matter where you're at in the world, it'll be correct. All right. I hit OK. It moves it correctly. Now we're looking good. Now we're looking good. So now I will save that template. Agree again to make sure I have this saved correctly. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. All right. And then now I'm going to do what? I'm going to go put this on all the charts to make sure we're all good to go. Make sure we got the new setup on every chart. Oh, did it do that for me? Come on. It did. Now let's go back and do this over again. We'll place AIRO on the charts. G pairs trying to move up. G chef trying to move up. GJ's trying to move up. GBP NZD trying to move, been moving down, got a little bounce. GBP AUD moving down. I don't like it. Correlation don't look good. GCAD trying to come back up, but not much room between the next zone. And the market's just been trash lately. Euro GBP. We are in a downtrend in Euro GBP. Euro JPY. We are in a downtrend in Euro JPY. Euro AUD. If you're in that trade, like, you should be in profit. May look to break out to the downside if you're in that trade from the Asian breakout. Again, I don't trade Asian breakout on euros, but for those who took that, all right, and then US down there. So on the G pairs, you got 2, 3 pairs moving up, 3 pairs in a downtrend. And then one of the pairs moving up is inside the zone. GJ Asia breakout, 14 pips. So the reason why I don't like the G pair moves right now, even though you see everything starting to move up, what happens when it gets to the zone? That's got a nice little move. GBP NZD, what happens when it gets to the zone? GJ's trying to break out. Might be a good move for Asia breakout on, let's look at this one here. GU, Asia breakout. Set our zones. We're in an uptrend. We've already missed that move. All right. G Chef is in the zone. Only one that might be feasible. We're right at the entry point here at GJ in the uptrend. Let me see something. I'm gonna do something crazy real quick. I'm gonna throw these fibs on. Throw the fibs on. See what we might be looking like. So we got a rejection on the fibs. Actually, we didn't. Never came down to the 38, 50, or 62. So fibs are invalid. And it's moving into a lot of noise. If you look left, guys, beautiful thing about Forex, like I said, is price repeats itself. But if you look left and you see that, why is price stalling? Well, look at all this. Price came down to this level where it's at. It hit this level multiple times. Look at this. Hit that level where price is currently at. You see where it's currently at. Let me delete this line real quick and delete this line so you guys don't be confused. Look where price is currently at. Look at how many times it's hit that area. Multiple times. Kept bouncing off of it. Finally broke through it, came back down, touched it again, came back down, touched it again, broke through it, came back to it, over and over again, came back to it, stalled at that area. It's stalling at this area because it stalled there multiple times. So when in doubt, look left. That is what these zones are for there as well. They will give you an indication of where prices stalled at prior to. All right, but sometimes there's the unhidden ones that you can see. Why is price stalling? So if you ever wonder why price is stalling at a certain area, look left. When in doubt, look left. Let's go look at the euros. Euro GBP's in a downtrend, no true entry. Euro JPY, downtrend. I would love to see it break through these zones here. No true entry. Euro AUD, playing around, it's just ranging. Euro NZD, an uptrend. We'll come back to the charts and answer some more questions here. The news that I watch, somebody want me to repeat the news that I watch. I watch, again, both Forex Factory and MyFX Book. All I look for are the three types of folders: green, yellow, red folder. If I see green folder, I'll trade through green folders. If I see yellow or red, I do not trade 30 minutes before the folder. So before that news comes out, and then 15 minutes after. All right. News channels are good for all sessions. All sessions. Now, there's more than just a regular news. Sometimes you need to, I've got a bunch of news apps, USA Today and things of that nature on my phone as well, so that I can see other news. So for example, when Trump would make a tweet, sometimes it would send news, it would send prices moving because he tweeted something that moved or caused the economy to move. When I think it was last year, there was a bombing. When there was a bombing overseas, that caused gold to move, 800 pips in a day. So you want to also understand what's going on from an economic standpoint, because when you get news and you hear about it, sometimes you hear about it late. All right. And you wonder what happened. Someone said their broker is both A and B. That is, you can't be A and B. If you have a broker that's A and B, you want to make sure that you are on the A side, which means that you are on their servers that are A book servers, not B book. Technically, you can't be an A book and B book. You're either A or B. So if they're doing B book strategies, that means their broker is B book. So I would recommend just finding another broker. My opinion. If you're fine with the B book side, hey, as your, as your preference. Yes, the brokers that I'm discussing do allow cryptocurrency on the weekends. They do. So again, that's another thing you look for. Some brokers allow cryptocurrency trading, but then they stop it on the weekends. So you would like to have a cryptocurrency broker for the weekends. And the reason why I utilize the two that I utilize are for the weekends cryptocurrency as well, because we will be adding cryptocurrency trading on the weekends as soon as we get us a couple of cryptocurrency, experts, traders. All right. What is the best way to pick your one or two pairs to focus on? I would say it's really based on what time you trade. If you're a lending session trader, pick lending session pairs. If you're a New York session trader and that's the time you plan to trade, pick New York session pairs because you have the best opportunity for the best setup during those sessions. Is there a way for me to save charts and preferences? Yes, so I'm going to show you how to do so. Let's see here. So let me log into my Auvoria Prime VPS, and I will show you guys. All right, so this is my Auvoria Prime VPS. So when you want to save your template, so let's say we add an arrow. Arrow's on here. You want to come on here. You want to hit Save Template. All right, it's going to give you the error. You hit OK. You type in the name, and you see here I have AIRO V2 here, or AIRO V3. You type that in here. You hit Save. That's it. Now, when you want to apply it to the chart, let's go add a chart. So I add a chart here. When I want to apply it, I select the template icon here. I go to load template. I select the template I want to load, AIRO V3. I hit open, and voila, there it is. All right. So that is how you save the template through the VPS. You have, so that's how you save the template. All right. Let me try to get through these questions real quick so we can try to catch some moves out. Need to catch some moves tonight. I'm tired of getting on these calls and we can't catch no moves. Lending session has been trash the last couple of weeks. The difference between AIRO and AIRO V2, there's a few differences. So just use AIRO V2. Actually, AIRO V3 will be out this weekend. So I will be removing AIRO and AIRO V2. There will only be AIRO V3 come this weekend. All right, this weekend. So this weekend on Saturday, that'll be change coming. Always use the most updated version. Do not worry about the oldest version. The reason why there are two versions out was so that people that were using the first version would not be disrupted by adding the second version. They could switch over when they wanted to. So we're going to get rid of AIRO and AIRO V2 this weekend. There will only be one AIRO version this come weekend. All right, that way no one's confused. Always use the latest version, guys. So we just got a notification. Probably was, yes, Ethereum. Look at Ethereum. It ran all the way up. See, our entry was right here on that buy. I had a sell entry, and then boom, right back up for a buy. Broke even, but again, I don't trade Ethereum. That's why I wouldn't have took that. I just don't trade very often. I do know when I do trade cryptocurrency, I typically trade it on Saturdays. Those are when I typically catch the moves, is on Saturdays. 500, 800, 1,000 pips. The last time I think I posted in the group, I caught 1,000 pips on Bitcoin was on a Saturday. So those are the days that I typically trade. But when we get us a proficient cryptocurrency trader, we will be looking for that type of information from them. So GBP CHF, if you zoom out here, we're in a buy trend. Let's see if the fibs apply. For those who've been asking about fibs in a buy trend. So I drew swing low to swing high, the 100 that is swing low, the 0 that is swing high. We're looking for a rejection at the 38, 50, or 62. Nothing gets close to it. There was a zone that popped up right at 38, so the price didn't come down to it. All right. I wish it did, because as you can see here, that is a bullish engulfing candle. So had these been touching the 38, my entry would have been on this candle here for a buy, because that's a bullish engulfing candle. But it didn't touch, so I don't worry about that trade. Must touch a fib level. Market is trash. All right, guys, market's trash right now. So let me go ask some more questions. Someone asked me, do I think markets have been trash because of inauguration week? Now, I have no clue what's going on. So to truly understand why London session has not been as volatile as it usually is, you probably want to look at what's going on overseas in London, and in that part of the country. That is what I'd recommend. GJ broke Asia. We talked about that earlier. Let's go take a look at it real quick. GJ, as you can see here, as I talked about, you had 1, 2, and 3 that are currently swinging up. All right. So you see they're moving in the uptrend. Then you have another one that's in a downtrend. Another one that's been in a downtrend, try to bounce back, and another one that has been in a downtrend. So half and half. So out of the 6 pound pairs, half of them are more or less trending up, half are trending down currently. That tells me that the correlation is not in our favor. I like to have 4 out of the 6 moving in the same direction. When that happens, as you guys have seen on the calls last week, we caught every trade correctly. All right. And so we got in. I missed one because it moved so fast, but people got into it and it smashed 20 pips in like 10 minutes. So when it's correlating correctly, that's when you trade it. When it's not correlating correctly, you want to be cautious. You want to be cautious. All right. And if you entered in that JPY trade, you are down right now. You'd have been in on this candle right here. You're down about 12, 13 pips right now. All right, still not a bad move. It meets the rules, but again, there's more than just the basic rules. Sometimes you need to, that's why I like these live sessions, so you guys can understand why sometimes you don't take certain trades. Not only did it break Asia session, it also break the money zone from previous day. So it could be a great buy trade later on. But the reason why I'm not looking to take that trade is because of the correlation. Now, as things progress, we may look to take the trade. We may look to get into that trade as things progress. But right now, I'm not seeing, look at this. I mean, G-Chef is now heading down. It was trending up, but now you can see it's trending down. Correlation. I learned a lot with correlation. The retest and weak zones feature in the AIRO. I don't know. I didn't really teach on those. We'll see. A couple people asked about it, but not a lot. So we'll see if I add those back. Is the FTMO group already active? If you sent me a print screen, I never heard anything. Did you send me one, Mariska? I didn't even see that. I apologize. It is active. It is active. If you sent one, I apologize. I will add you to the group. But the FTMO group is rolling right now for those who want to join for that opportunity. For those, if that's the way that you like to trade. Again, your preference, like we thought about it earlier. Not going to drop the link, guys. You have to follow the rules. I put those rules in the group. You have to be able to, one, start the free 14-day free trial. Send me a screenshot of that 14-day free trial, and then send that to me. I'll add it to the group. Now, again, serious traders only. This is not something you just get in there and play with. You have to have a different mindset from a standpoint of trading with proper lot sizes, not just over leveraging your account, trying to make the money, hit the target goal real quickly. So keep that in mind. If you're really serious about taking your trading to the next level in a less aggressive manner, FTMO is the right way for you. If you like to be more aggressive in trading, which means you want to allow for bigger drawdown for longer moves, then FTMO is not for you. All right. If you can follow rules and stay within parameters, and you use proper risk management and wait for proper setups, FTMO challenge is for you. If not, it's not for you. All right. Someone asked me about taxes when it comes to trading and taking out profits. I am not a tax consultant, so you may want to do some Googling to find out how they tax foreign exchange currency and or talk to someone who is a tax consultant. All right. FTMO, A book or B book? They are, to my knowledge, they're an A book broker, or the broker they use is A book. But I'm not 100% sure. I'll do the research on that one. Someone wants to see how I changed my lines. So anytime you use any lines, guys, any lines, whether it be vertical or horizontal, all you do is double click on them until you see the white dot on either end. So double click, white line on both sides, and then you right click on that line and go to properties, change the color. That's it. That's it. Same thing, you can right click and delete as well. Yes, this weekend you'll have to reboot. We'll let you guys know when the update is done. We'll put it into the AIRO announcements channel, and then from there it'll be disseminated to all groups. But yes, you'll have to reboot the VPS to see the new version, AIRO V3. On the fib pullback, does the candle color have to change? No. All you need to do is have the 5 different formations, candlestick formations that I taught on, have those formations off of the actual fib level. And I'll give you guys a hint. Dojis and hammers are 2 of the most powerful formations you'll see that reject at fib levels. Those are going to be 2 of the ones. Those are 2. The third most powerful one that you're going to see is the engulfing candlesticks. No, we are not in any trades at the moment. From my experience, the win ratio of the bag strategy, again, past results are not indicative of future results, but over 80% win ratio is what I've been seeing. All right, guys. So please pay attention when you ask questions. As you can see here, I have AIRO on my FTMO chart. It says what at the top here? Let me go to that platform. FTMO demo. This is the demo practice account for FTMO. So yes, you can have AIRO on the FTMO account because it's just an account. You are putting the software on the MT4 platform. This is MT4. They don't care what account you log into. It's on the MT4 platform. All right. Please pay attention to the questions that are being asked. Yes, your broker is going to dictate your money zone time frame. I just showed you guys how to set it live. So you figure out which candle is 12 a.m. Central Standard Time frame. That will be the start of the money zone based off of your broker. Add 12 hours, that's the end. When I go back and make videos, I'm going to make a bunch of support videos that show how to set the money zone. And one more, I forgot the other one. Yes, this call is until 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of people are asking how to count pips. This is something we do on Monday nights. I mean, on Sunday nights, guys. There are also videos in the back office that show this as well. That typically takes about 20, 30 minutes because we're also trying to look for trades. I'm not going to show how to count pips at the moment. That's just a very intuitive training. If you're in that GBP JPY breakout, down about 12 pips right now. G Chef coming back down. GU's trying to come down. GBP NZD just hanging around. GI hanging around. GCAT. Man, I want to be on London New York session, man, because nothing happens in London anymore. It's boring. Boring. Euro AUD. Nothing. If you're still in that Euro AUD trade, it's going the wrong way. Yes, AP Forex Basics has videos on counting pips. A lot of videos in the back office, guys. Make sure you see you use what you have. There's information out there for you. Got to count. You got to be able to utilize it, guys. You guys are paying for it. Utilize it. Utilize it. Did not hit TP on gold. Well, they hit TP on something. What trade was TP hit on? YouTube link. My YouTube link is the same at Nate Got the Bag. So it's Nate Got the Bag for my YouTube link as well. So everything is the exact same across the board for me on Telegram, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Nate got the bag. So you guys can watch that. I'll be dropping a lot more videos on YouTube. There'll be some videos on YouTube that won't be in the back office just because there'll be special videos like the FTMO challenge or videos on trading with small accounts or trading with very large accounts and how I manage risk. Cool things like that. Just stuff that people are curious about. $20 pips on gold. That's good. 20 pips is good. Someone asked me why they don't have a bag entry on GBP NZD when I do. Like we talked about earlier, different brokers will have different setups. Reason being, different brokers have different price points. They're not all the same. Therefore, different prices will trigger the software to have different setups. Sometimes you won't have an AIRO the same time I have an AIRO. Sometimes you have a zone when I won't have a zone. Always dependent on broker. If you want to be the same as me, I can't recommend anything, but if you want to be the same as me, you need to use the same broker as I do. That's the only way it'll be the exact same. All right. If you want that list, I can't give it publicly, but I can share with you who I utilize and send me, you can you can send me a message on Instagram, Telegram, and I will get you that list. Again, you can use any broker you want, though. How long did it take me to learn this, and how long will it take us to learn this if we apply it full time? The learning curve is different for everybody. There are some that picked up on it very quickly. My 16-year-old cousin, I made him his very first week, watch the videos over and over, at least twice, all videos. And he had to watch videos of strategy number 1. He had to watch that every day. Then I allowed him to open up a demo account second week. And his second week in his demo account, he made $3,700 in his first 2 or 3 days. So the learning curve can be short if you follow the rules. It can be long if you don't follow the rules, or if you don't take the time to follow the rules and get plugged in. So it really is really all over the place. It's depending on how much time you spend, and everyone has different amount of time they can spend. So it's really not a true answer. For me, it took me about 2 years before I could actually make a withdrawal. So before I was able to make a withdrawal, it was about 2 years, and about 2.5 years before I could make consistent withdrawals. Because I have a problem with gambling. I like to play craps. And so I sometimes back in the day, I used to use or treat the Forex market like craps market. The specific pairs for Asia session breakout, the all 6 Great Britain pound pairs. All right. All 6 Great Britain pound pairs are what I trade for Asia session breakout. How was my day yesterday? I suppose since it's 2 a.m. It was okay. Yesterday, I traded my FTMO account. For those who are on that want to know my strategy, I'll show you. So on my FTMO demo account, what I do is I just trade. I'm going to trade probably for the next 2 or 3 days until I get $1,000 cushion. So the goal for a $50,000 account, I have 14 days to make 10%, which is $5,000. All right. And in that time frame, I cannot lose more than $2,500 in one day or $5,000 total. All right. So for me, I'm using a standard lot, taking very precise trades, catching anywhere from 5 to 20 pips to make to get to $1,000. I want to get $1,000 cushion so then I can start to take larger trades with a 2 standard lot, 3 standard lot, so that I can get to my $5,000 goal. I expect to get to $5,000 goal in about 10 days with that strategy. But starting slow allows me to build up that cushion. That way, guess what? When it comes time to start putting bigger lot sizes on, if I have a trade that goes $800 the wrong way, it doesn't count towards my loss because I already have a cushion. All right. So that's my strategy, is to build a cushion of $1,000 in the first 3 or 4 days, and then to turn around and use that cushion to use larger lot sizes so that I can make make the additional $4,000 in the next 6 to 7 days. So my goal is within 10 days to reach the $5,000 goal target. All right, that's kind of my strategy that I'm going with the FTMO account. Just putting your mathematics to use. Exactly. Exactly. It's all a numbers game, guys. My sleep schedule. I sleep 5 hours a day, maybe. So I will probably, when we get off this call at 3 a.m. my time, I will probably sleep from I will probably sleep from 3:30 to 7:38 and be back up. So which video has the stop and replace strategy for locking in profits? Every video will tell you, based on that strategy, of how to lock in profits or when to get out in a loss. And there's 3 ways. No matter what video you watch, there are only 3 ways you get out of a trade. It hits stop loss, it hits take profit, or an opposite colored zone pops up. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Do not make this harder than it has to be, guys. Just stick to the rules. Those who stick to the rules are winning, and winning significantly. Those who have trading experience and are applying their experience towards towards AIRO are having great experiences as well. But just stick to the rules. The only time you don't stick to the rules is if you have additional knowledge or you want to take that additional risk. But if you don't have that experience and you have to ask these questions, that means you don't have that experience. Just stick to the rules. And then as you learn, you then can try additional things. If you're gonna try something new, I would recommend trying it on a demo account. That way you don't waste your own money. TP1 and TP2. So with fibs, TP1 level will always be the 0 line. So if you get a rejection off of the 38, TP1 is at the 0 line. TP2, or the final TP, would be at the negative 38. They're just two, what it means TP1 and TP2 is just two potential take profit levels that you can take the trade to. TP1 is more conservative. TP2 is a little bit more aggressive. Same thing with the 50. The 50 can go to, it has 3 TPs. 50 goes to the 0, the negative 38, the negative 50. And then the 62 has 4 TPs, the 0, the negative 38, the negative 50, and then the 62. All right, so there's additional TPs, TP levels, take profit levels that allow you to take the trades, and be more aggressive or less aggressive. Someone says that people are using non-regulated brokers, and that confuses them. Again, I'm giving you recommendations, or I'm giving you recommendations of the criteria that I use. If someone else wants to use a non-regulated broker, that's their choice. You can use whoever you want. Should never confuse you. This is the open, free game. If you want to use a non-regulated broker, a regulated broker, A book broker, B book broker, use who you want. It's up to you. I'm just letting you guys know who I use. If you guys ask me, I'll let you know who I use. That's it. If someone else uses something different, that's on them. Everybody uses who they want to use. So it should never confuse you. It's like a sandwich. Some people like peanut butter and jelly. Some people like ham and cheese. Some people like turkey. I like ham, lettuce with hot sauce on it. So you choose what you want. Yes, great point. Some of the non-regulated brokers allow you to do what? They allow you to have higher leverage, which means you can actually make your money stretch a little longer. Question was about how to, we got multiple questions about showing fib numbers as well as how to measure the pip channel. So the Asia channel. So again, guys, if you're asking these questions, it tells me you have not watched the videos. I took a lot of time to make these videos for you guys that you can watch over and over again. Please watch the videos. They're for your own good. All right. They are for your good. GU's trying to move up. G Chef trying to move up. GJ trying to move up. Interesting. So Asia channel. Give me a second, guys. I'm looking at this trade here to see if I want to enter this trade. Maybe we catch 10 quick pips. I don't know. Let me. $142. The Asia channel. So we'll show it real quick here on this breakout that's trying to really break out. The Asia channel. You want to look at two things. You need to have your money zone set up correctly. All right. You need to have your money zone set up correctly. All right. And then you need to have your this line here, which is your period separator. To ensure you have your period separator showing, right click on the black of the screen. All right, go to properties, come to common. You have colors, come to common. Make sure you have show period separators checked. Make sure you have show period separators checked. Then hit OK. All right, that'll pop up. Now, what you want to do is look for the body of the highest candle in between the period separator and the money zone and the lowest body. All right, outside of the money zone. So as you can see here, the highest body was right here. At this point, this candle had the highest body at the body. And then the lowest was at this point right here, lowest body. And then all you do is measure the distance between the two. You use the crosshairs to measure the distance between both lines. You see the middle line says 152, that's 15.2 pips. As long as this Asia channel, this is the Asia channel width, is less than 50 pips, the trade can be valid. Why? Because every pair has an ADR, an average daily range, or an ATR, average true range. All right, most of these average daily ranges and average true ranges are anywhere from 80 to 140 pips. So if you already have most of that ADR taken up in the Asia channel, then you want to do what? You want to not trade that pair because the probability of the trade going 20 pips has reduced significantly. The tighter the Asia channel, the better opportunity you have of hitting 20 pips. We have a great opportunity with GJ. Now, the reason why we're looking at for a buy is because you see what? We are in an uptrend. We have more green zones than red zones. And the entry is more than 20 pips away from the next red zone. Therefore, we're looking for an Asia session breakout to the upside because the trend is up. All right? The overall trend is up. Market playing with us now. Market playing with us. Fib levels. Here are my fib settings. Again, please watch the videos. Everything is in the videos, guys. Everything is in the videos. Here are my fib levels. The 100, the 79, the 62, the 50, the 38, the 0, the negative 38, the negative 50, the negative 62. All right. Please watch the videos. Everything's in the videos. You can watch it over and over again. You can pause it. So those are the fib levels there. Take a screenshot of those. Let's go answer some more questions. Somebody asked me about NZD JPY and CAD CHF. All pairs I don't necessarily trade and that move mainly during London session, New York session. So let's go take a look at them. I'm about to go add those. CAD CHF, NZD JPY. NZD JPY. NZD JPY is in a sell trend, more red zones than green zones. Easy money here. Sell trend, both of them hit. Little retrace. Hit a zone, almost at 20 pips. And then this one with the bag entry. That one hit 20 pips. So you got about 18 out of this one, about 20, and you get 20 out of that one. So good pips out of both of these bag entry trades here. Because you again, with the trend, you're with the trend. So right now, again, this is a pair that, as you can see, moves mainly during New York. You can see here during London session, didn't really do much. Kind of retraced a little bit. Then when it got in the New York session, it got busy. It's a New York session pair. All right. Not really sure what happened yesterday. Might have been some news that set this up during the Asia session. All right. Asia, you'll see some crazy moves. And that just means, usually during Asia session has the lowest volatility. Therefore, news will move the market considerably. And the market news really is just an opportunity for the market makers to move price on you. They will use the excuse of news to move the price to fake you out, to take you out. All right. I will share something with you here. We'll talk about it this week, but I'm going to share with you the market maker method, or more or less the market maker trend. How do I know when a market maker trend is coming to an end? All right. The market makers have what is called their own trend. Typically is over the course of 3 days and as much as 5 days. All right. So in a downtrend, you're looking for what? You're looking for the trend to start with a M. Here's the M right here. All right. So the trend, the market maker trend in a downtrend is MAAW. So M planted at the resistance, as you see right here. A, that's an A right there. A, another A, and then a funky W right down here. W. Why is it not perfectly look like a W? Why does it not perfectly look like A's? Because the overall trend, if they made it look the same every time, it would be too obvious for you to see it. But you can clearly see here when you point out, that's an M. M, here's your A. A, here's another A. A, here's another A. And then your W. It's kind of funky on the W, planted down here in support. So when you get a W in support after the M started, you can see here, day number 1, day 2, day 3. Almost at the end of day 3, you got the end of the W. So it's a 3-day push on the MAAW. Market trend is over, which makes sense on why what? Since the trend is over, now they're looking to do what? Now they're looking to move the market up. So when we're in a downtrend, here's how you'll be able to know, just to give you guys a tidbit of what's to come on the strategy video this week for strategy number 9. Here's how you know when you can start taking counter trend trades, when the market maker trend is over with. Because at that point, they are now ready to move the trend in the opposite direction. All right. CAD CHF, someone asked about. Someone asked me about it earlier. So yesterday, here, let's zoom out. We can clearly see we're in an uptrend. We are in an uptrend. What time was that trade? Yeah. I wouldn't have been looking to trade this often, very often. CAD CHF is one I'd stay away from. I don't trade this pair much, so I don't even really understand its movements right now. I can see that I wouldn't have took any trades. Typically, if I don't trade a pair very much, if I do happen to trade that pair, I'm only looking to take bag entry trades in the direction of the trend inside the money zone. So if I don't trade a pair much, I don't have too much knowledge on that pair, then I just trade strategy number 1. That's it. You can see here strategy number 1. You got a bounce, you got an arrow. It dropped on me 17 pips and it ran up 10 pips. But we didn't even have 20 pips room until the next zone, so I would have entered the trade. So, it's a low ADR pair. Again, I don't like to trade these low ADR pairs because they don't move very well. Very little movement out of them. So when in doubt, bag entry. Follow strategy 1, when in doubt. G pairs not trying to break out. They're all coming down. They're not trying to break out. Crypto pair is not moving very much either. Crypto pair is not moving very much either. XRP been on one. Golly. So for those who don't know, XRP is going through the XRP stands for Ripple, and Ripple is going through the current lawsuit right now. That's why you've been seeing very crazy movement on the Ripples. All right. Yes, no matter what time frame I'm on, I check for the overall time frames. No matter what time frame I'm on. Someone asked about knowing the ADR for pairs. So I'm going to, in version 4, you'll see a lot of very cool things. Matter of fact, I'll give you guys a sneak peek of the prototype of version 4. So version 4, I'll give you guys a sneak peek of what version 4 will look like. Oh, some other. So here is version 4. Is the prototype version. So it will have, you'll be able to select all the pairs you want, and they'll be on one chart. They'll be on one chart. All right. So you have one chart up. You can select what time frames you want to watch. So I like to watch the 5, the 15, the 1, and the 4. Those are the 4 time frames I teach on. And it will pop up red, not orange. Again, it's prototype. It'll pop up red. So what I'm gonna do, it's gonna pop up red if there is a down arrow, or green if there's an up arrow. All right. And then all you have to do is click on that pair, click on that time frame, and it takes you to the chart with arrow on the chart. Simple as that. See, I clicked on it, took me straight to it. Took me to the time frame I clicked on and the chart. All right. So it's gonna be really cool because you'll be able to manage everything from one chart. All right. What will happen is this is gonna be red and not orange. But what I have is I'm gonna add 2 more things. I'm gonna add the ADR and I'm gonna add the overall trend. So if the overall trend is up, each pair, it'll tell you what the overall trend is for each time frame. That's what I'm going to try to do. Each time frame, you'll know what the overall trend is. That way, when you look at the chart, if you get like right here, Euro AUD H1, if this is red, but the overall trend is down, is green, is buy, and you get a red, you already know, don't even go look at it. And then also we'll have the ADR out there as well. So this is going to be version 4. I'm playing around with the prototype. I'm going to be adding those next and then changing the color scheme from orange to red. It's just about ready, but this is the prototype of version 4. Again, you'll only need one chart open, and you'll be able to scan the entire market as you will. So pretty cool sneak peek of version 4. So I'll be making those changes because I'll probably be using version 4 all next week. So you guys will see me using version 4. Matter of fact, the educators will be are going to start using version 3 here pretty soon as well. And they're going to be using version 4 soon as well. So we're going to be testing it live just to make sure it works in live conditions before we release it to the field. Need a glass of water. All this talking. See if we got any more questions. Looks like people are going to like version 4. Strategy 9. Yes, that was strategy 9. I showed you a sneak peek of as well with the market maker trend. If you got questions, put them into the Q&A for me. I can get those answers for you. Is there a way to implement red orange folder event notifications in AIRO? There is, and we may with like version 5. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I can make that happen for you guys in a simplistic way. All right, for those jumping off, hey, good night. See, yeah, we'll be on again in the morning at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. When the markets are tough, is there a time frame to scalp a quick 5 to 10 pips? That'll be the 5-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame. Yesterday in New York session, CHF, a bunch of us got into CHF JPY bag entry, and then it immediately ranged for hours. Would you have gotten in that trade? Let's go look at CHF JPY. Let's go see. Let's go see. He's booming. I'm not touching that one. Do I need to add it? There it is, CHF JPY. AIRO. And you got into a CHF bag entry. All right, let's go take a look. So a CHF JPY, if we zoomed out, the trend is down. You had a bounce, you had an arrow, and you got in this trade, and it dropped as many as 10 pips. Someone asked, would they have gotten into this trade? So I probably would not have gotten into this trade for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't trade CHF JPY. That's number one. Number two, you can see here from the day, look at that. It moved 95 pips from the beginning of the day. So by the time you took the bag entry, it had already ran up 95 pips. That is significantly more than CHF JPY's ADR. All right, so the move happened already. And I can see that the market maker trend is over. Here's that M, and then you can clearly see where the W ended. So for me, I'm not really looking. I'm looking for a price now to try to start to head back up. But the market maker trend is over with. So again, I think market maker trend, you guys have started to really understand it a lot more, and I'll show you how to use it. But I would not have taken that trade because you can clearly see here, market maker trend is over with. All right, came down to a sell here. Here your W, kind of went up, came down. All right, when agent session happens, and this is where the move happens, guys. Here's where the move happens. the market makers, when they have changed the trend after the session end, they will fake you out to make you think the market is continuing in the same direction. The direction trend was over. It had a little pullback, sitting down here, new day, Asia session, faked out. You got multiple red candles underneath or inside the zone. So you see this, look at that, trending down. So people are seeing that, oh, look, people are drawing wedges, and like, hey, it's breaking the wedge. It broke the wedge. They got their wedge drawn here. Like, great, it broke the wedge. That's a sell. Fib levels, 5,500 cross, 8,550 cross, 30, whatever cross the strategy, MACD strategy, RSI. Is that the high coming down to the low? Every strategy gets triggered. But the beautiful thing about why we are always typically on the right side of the trades, because the zone is there. We're not going to take a trade into the zone. So guess what? Here's how you get into that trade. Here's how you get into all market maker trades. When you have a fake out in the direction, so we know it's a fake out because we know the trend is over with. Asia session, we got a fake out to the opposite side of the trend because now we know the trend is now heading up. We wait until price comes out 7 to 10 pips. And so we're looking for price to come out 7 to 10 pips out of the zone. After we have had, all right, bet right there, after we've had more than 3 candles, full body candles, 1, 2, 3, so full body candles inside the zone, the more the better. So this candle was 7 pips away from the zone. I'm in the buy. 40 pips. All right. The market maker method is it's not an easy strategy. It's probably one of the most complicated because you have to really be able to train your eye to be able to see the market maker move, the trend move. All right. WAA. So in a sell trend, is going to be MAAW that we talked about. MAAW coming down. In a buy trend, it's W, V, V, and then M. And then it starts all over again. WAAM. All right. So I'll go over this on the call. The strategy video this week. It drops on Thursday. But I wouldn't have took CFJPY because of it moved 95 pips, beforehand. FTMO, guys, I've already talked about it on multiple occasions on how you get access to it. So you need to DM me. GU, does that mean they ran a market maker? Let's go take a look. GU. Yeah, GU could have been seen as a market maker move. We're in an uptrend. They faked the downtrend. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you got this candle right here, which is almost 9 pips away, and it ran up over 20 pips. Yep, nice little market maker move. They gapped down. So here on the GU, we already know the trend is up. We see we have more green and red. So we know what the trend is, all right? We know what the trend is. They gapped down during the beginning of Asia session. Asia session starts at the period separator. They gap down. People are like, oh, it's a gap. Trade the gap. Trade the gap. Sell, sell, sell. Nope. It's a buy. See how it's a good move. You can trade the market maker move all the way up. Here's that W. W, clear as day, clear as mud. WV. W, you got a little small V here, another V here. And all you're doing is waiting for resistance to pop up and the M to plant. We're at day 1, day 2, day 3. Some day to day, 3 to 5 days, typically 3, but 3 to 5 days when you see the move. And let's go back and look at it. M, A, playing around, W. Once you can train your eye to see it, it's there. There's the M. Here's your A. All right, here's another A. you can call that A, but not really. I don't. Usually, you want on A, you want this pull back to the moving average, and then straight back down. That right there forms an A. Right there, that's an A. Here's an A. There's an A. Here's the W planted in the support zone. W. We're done. M started 3 days ago. So day 1, day 2, day 3. So now this bag entry was a valid trade, even though the trend, but now it's a downtrend, uptrend, because you have, again, back when it was a downtrend, you had red zones here. These red zones aren't here anymore because prices broken through them all. You see these green zones started here, but there was no green zones back when this was here. None of these here. So we see we're in an uptrend now, but we knew back here, these green zones don't exist back here. This would have been a valid bag entry trade if you understand the market maker trend. So that market maker trend is going to be powerful to help you guys understand perfect times to take what? To take counter trend trades. Also to understand when the market may be turning around and understand fake outs. G-pair is trying to move up again. If you're in that Euro AUD still trade that broke the Asia session, for those who took it, you should be in some type of profit right now. For those who took that trade. Again, we don't trade. I don't trade that with. Can I sign up for FTMO also? Can I pass the challenge today? If you know what you're doing, yes, you could. You have the opportunity, the capability to pass it. There are some people that will pass it in less. Somebody's like $1,000 away from passing the challenge on their 3rd day. So it all depends on how consistent you are with using the strategies, whether it be your own strategy that's consistent or the AIRO strategies. EJ, ascending triangle. Let's go look at EJ, ascending triangle. And we just got an arrow. We got a EURAD sell, EURAUD sell, EURAUD sell. The trend is even. We know we got 50 pips room. Do we have 20 pips until the next zone? We got 20 pips. I'm going to take this trade for 10 pips because it's the second arrow. Well, actually, I'll take it back, guys. I'm not taking this trade. Do not take this trade. Here's why. You had a bounce. There's arrow, opposite arrow. There was no new bounce. So this second arrow would not be valid. This first one did not have another bounce. Does it play out the right way? Yes. But you want to be consistent. So there was no bounce, no new bounce. So I'm actually going to leave that alone. For me, it's about consistency. May work out. But Euro GBY is sitting right at the zone. So I don't feel comfortable about it. Euro GBP is right at the zone. So 2 out of the 4 are right at zones. The other ones aren't. So if you do take it, don't take it for more than 10 pips. G-pair is trying to break out. They're just dead. We may be moving this time frame, guys. I try to start this a little earlier because sometimes you have London session makes moves around midnight Central Standard Time. London session starts at 2 a.m. So London session started 30 minutes ago. So typically, there's some moves that they don't happen early. They're going to happen later in London session, typically around, the 4 to 6 a.m. time frame. EJ ascending triangle. Let's go look at that. EJ, I forgot to look at that. EJ ascending triangle. Euro JPY. ascending triangle. So on Euro JPY, I don't really care about any triangles. Here's why. There's a zone here, and a zone there. There's not enough room. You need some room. Need some room. So for example, with EJ here, this would have been a great move. We already talked about this. We knew the even though we're in a downtrend, we knew the market maker move was over for the plant here of the M. All right. I'm sorry, the W. So look at this here. You have a what? You have a what? Ascending triangle. So depending on what time of day you're at, when you draw this, here's what it would look like. And you can clearly see here, you had a breakthrough, price came back down, retested it, then took off. I felt good about taking this on the break or the retest because we know the market maker move is over with. So we know that we're looking for upside. But I wouldn't be looking for this here. It's too much congestion. It's just ranging right now. When price is ranging like this, when you see the zones close like this, don't look for any moves. You want to wait for price to break out before you look for any moves. Yeah, price is playing around right now, everywhere. The key, I'm pressing to scroll through my charts. I am just selecting the different charts at the bottom tabs. You just bottom tab. I just select a different tab to open up a new chart. So every time you open up a new chart, you have the tabs at the bottom of the screen, down here at the bottom of the screen. G-pair is trying to move. If you close out the alert screen, the only way to open it back up potentially is to go to a lower time frame. So let's try that real quick. I closed out my alert screen. You cannot open it back up. But if you do, let's say we go back to this year, and let's say we go to a lower time frame. Go to the 5-minute time frame. That doesn't work. Go to the lower time, go to the 1-minute time frame. I still didn't get anything. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. You just go to different time frames. Go to different time frames. Go up or down 1 to 2 time frames, and you'll potentially get a new chart pop up. Nothing here. Let's go to H4. Nothing. But while we're looking here, guys, strategy number 2 has been fire. People have been winning big with this strategy. So as you can see here, if you go to strategy number 2 and trade the higher time frames, bag entry in the higher time frames have been playing out very well. Very well. So you see here, H1, overall trend is what? Buy. You got more green and red. All right. Zoom in. You had a bounce. You had an arrow. Got in. Drawdown was 17 pips. And right now you'd be up over 37 pips. You know what I'm saying? With TP around 50 pips. It was right around here. 50 pips on the dot right there. All right. Trading on the higher time frames can be lovely. A little more patience, but it works. Also, Fibonacci on the higher time frames works as well. Let's go look at it. So if you see here, Fibonacci on the higher time frames, we know we're in an uptrend. We already know that. We looked at that. So here's the last time price was below the moving average. So the last retrace. Here's the current retrace. We look at this one right here. We're looking at this move right here. That it was valid as long as there was no, as long as we have blue skies here, we're good. So we go from swing high, low to swing high. I'm just, again, showing this for educational purposes. You can zoom in and see that what? On the H1, you had a hammer and then two dojis off of the 62. A hammer and two dojis off the 62. Your entry should be somewhere around here, easily around here. With your TP, 5 pips below the 79. So let's measure that just to make sure. 140.06. All right, 06. So we know that our entry is right here. We had a hammer, two dojis. I'm sorry, not a hammer. This is a, what's the other one there? Oh, I forget. I call it an inverted hammer. It's opposite direction. And then two dojis. So you had 3 hours, because it's the H1 time frame. You had 3 hours of rejections at the 62. And the 62 did what? It lines up with the zone. There is your entry. Your stop loss, 5 pips below the 79, which is a total of a 40 pip stop loss, 39.7. The ETH keeps popping up, man. He's killing right now. Just, all right. TP1 is going to be what? At the 0 line, 93 pips with a bag entry in there as well. You could have had another entry there, bounce, arrow, in the direction of the trend. So we risk 40 pips to make 93. So for those of you who don't like the risk to reward ratio of the bag entry, this right here is a setup for 1 to 2.25. All right. Now we know since it rejected the 62 that TP1 is at the 0 line. TP2 is at the negative 38, which is 154. TP3 is at the negative 50, which is 173 pips. That's almost a 1 to 5 ratio. It's like 1 to 4.25. And then look, at that level, you get the zone. So you get out early because the zone popped up before we got to the negative 62. That ratio is beautiful. Your drawdown, depending on when you got in, was no more than 12 pips. Power of the fib. The power of the fib. This strategy is one that I will be using personally on FCMO challenge. Power of the fib. Yeah, them G pairs struggling right now. They struggling. To go back on a pair, to go back to to look at a pair a couple of days ago, what you do is you select this button right here. It's called the what button? This is the chart scroll. Yes, this is the chart scroll button right here. So if you turn it off, click it and turn it off, it will allow you to move the chart to go back. If you have it on, every time price moves, it'll bring you back to current price. This button next to it is the chart shift. If you turn it off, it puts current price close to the side of the screen. If you hit it again, it gives you a little room. That way you can kind of, project. For those who like to actually draw where price may go, you can do that. I like to do it just to have room to see what's going to happen, see it move. I don't like it sitting against the screen. Strategy number 4. If you go look at the rules in the strategy video, whether it's at the beginning of the money zone or the end of the money zone, as soon as price breaks above previous day's money zone, it's a valid trade. Doesn't matter as long as the break happened inside of the next day's money zone. You can see previous alerts in the alerts tab. So let's go look at that. So if your alerts pop off, you can come down here, select. And let's go to FTMO challenge. You're for the sale. Oh yeah, we already talked about that one. If you're in that year ad trade, you should be about 20. You should already hit TP. For those who took it, again, I didn't take the trade because it's not a valid trade. It's not a valid trade for Asia session breakout. And this bag entry is not valid because there was no bounce. Now, alerts tab. So if you select, you turn on your, all right, if you hit the terminal button and come down here and hit alerts, you can go in here and see. I don't have any alerts, so that's not good. But here, you're supposed to have all your previous alerts. I wonder if FTMO just doesn't do it. Look at GJ trying to move up there. So this is one of those days where you could have made money on GJ, G Chef, and potentially G, those two, where the correlation didn't work out. So again, I'm not always right. But for me, I like to take consistent trades. GJ, like you might be, yeah, it's that line right there. Entry was this line here. So you would have got close to 20 pips if it's this line here. This is one of those days where my correlation did not play out the way that I wanted for this particular pair. It happens. But again, it's not about missing trades. It's about trading consistently so that you have a similar outcome every time. Because if you don't, some days you have great days, some days you won't. I went through this for years. Some days I couldn't lose. Like everything I did was perfect, spot on. Then some days I couldn't win. Those are the frustrating days. So you want to stay consistent, always follow your rules no matter what. Bank move on GBP CAD. Let's go look at the bank move. Is that a bank move on GBP CAD? GBP CAD. Bank move. I don't see one. Don't see one. How long do you typically need to wait on H1 time frame? You wait till you get the entry. Wait until you get the entry. On H1, I recommend strategies 1 and 8 only, but you wait until you get your entry. For higher time frames, I don't really look at news to affect the higher time frames. The higher the time frame, you get movement, but the higher the time frames, you typically have a better overall trend. Trend typically plays higher on the higher time frames. It respects those trends. So in the higher time frames, I don't personally look at too often news, as closely. If I see something crazy coming up, like anything with the pound pairs, if you see any news about Brexit, get out. Brexit is high news. So other than that, I don't really care about news on higher time frames. For those who are on the FTMO challenge, we do not trade together unless we're on this call. So had we taken a trade on this call, I would have taken it on my FTMO account. And then, of course, if you want to take trades on FTMO on the New York session, you can. But the FTMO, the goal is for those with FTMO, we want to do a couple of things with FTMO challenge. Number one, we want to, how do I explain it? We want to push and test the level of patience, the level of commitment to you following the processes, the strategies, and the rules, and proper risk management, because you need all three of those to be able to achieve the goals of passing the overall FTMO test. Their overall court trial. And then number two is just to show people that AIRO can be utilized to pass something even as stringent as the FTMO course, which does what? Allows us to legitimize that FTMO is a legit tool and not just some beginner tool. It can be used for advanced traders as well. So those are the two main reasons that we're looking for when we are using FTMO. So do not look at the VPS time. Look at your time on the broker. Your broker time frame, which I'll show you right here once again, is what you look at. Do not worry about the VPS time frame. You want to look at the time frame here on the bottom of the chart. So on the bottom of the chart, you see here, I put the line here, put a vertical line. This vertical line is at 0500. That's all you care about. Don't worry about the VPS time frame. VPS time frame, there's a VPS server and a broker most likely are not going to be in the same time zone. So for those who took the agent breakout for GJ, beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. Same thing with G Chef. Beautiful trade. Why is price moving a lot better now? Well, again, London session started at 2 a.m. We're about 2:50. We're about an hour in. So now you're going to start getting some better movement. All right, better movement. Everything's starting to reverse. Euros are dropping. So someone says there's a lot of GBP news. Let's go look. GBP, as of right now, a lot of green folders coming out. The Euro news has some medium in about an hour and 7 minutes. So That could be it. GA bag buy. GA bag buy. So we'll look at GA. I don't have a bag buy. I don't have a bag entry on GA. Go to lower time frame. I don't have one either. Had one here, but it wasn't enough space, and we're still in a downtrend. So GA, there was no entry for me on GA. Your broker may have something different, but I don't have that. So Jackie Panada, who trades indices on, with the Fibonacci, she uses it on S&P 500. So we want to talk about it. Here's the S&P 500. The trend is currently up right now. So for me, you can see here, this is the previous retrace, current retrace. All you care about is a retrace that starts from a zone. It's got to be planted in the zone. If it's a buy trend, we're looking for a plant in the support zone. Sell trend, plant it at the resistance zone. Put it to the peak here. All right. So you can see here, you had this right here is a hammer at the 38. Therefore, your entry would be where? Boom. Right here on this candle. TP1, 0 line, TP2, negative 38. As you can see, it hit both. On a 5-minute chart, it worked out. Boom, boom. Let's go see how many pips it is. You had a drawdown, or yes, you'd have got in here. You had a drawdown of 2 pips. TP1, 24 pips. TP2, 55 pips. It's a great move right there. It's a great move. That's how you use the fibs. Fibs are very powerful if you know how to use them. So someone asked me if I got into a trade 2 hours before news came out, and then I got out. And then what would I do if the news came out? Typically, I would move my stop loss to break even or even in profit, depending on how far I'm in profit. That way, if there is price manipulation, then at least I don't lose any money. All right, good catch. Somebody took 10 on the GJ breakout. Somebody took 10 on the EA breakout. Glad you guys made some money. Glad you guys made some money. Again, I don't like to risk getting in these trades if I don't have sound setups. What's going to happen? Sometimes you're going to make trades, sometimes you're not going to make trades. They had some good breakouts. Euros are falling through the floor. Which I like. If you're in this, look for Euro JPY. If it can break through the zone and get an arrow pointing down, that'll be a good trade. That is what I would be looking for, is Euro JPY to get a down, to break that zone and get a down arrow for the bag entry. Yep, no trade for me either. it happens. I think all my trades I took on my FTMO account yesterday, they all happened during New York session. So sometimes you just don't trade very often. So London session has been very finicky the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks. So I'm personally waiting for it to get back to trading like normal, so that we can start getting some pips. I think last week we only traded one day, but we caught 3 trades, 55 pips. So some days you make them, some days you don't, and it's all good. Hey, we live to trade another day. We live to trade another day. We got 2 minutes until it's time to go. I'll answer any more questions if you guys have any in the Q&A box. I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Sorry we couldn't get any trades today. London session is has been a downer for the last couple of weeks, guys. So when London session is back to normal, it'll be pip gang all night, 50, 60, 100 pips. But right now it's not. So I apologize, guys. I got to take what the market gives you. For those who got the 10 pips here and there and took the risk to jump in, great job. The re-recording for this video will be it'll be posted in the group tomorrow when it's done done processing. And then of course you can also go to the Auvoria Prime YouTube channel, and all the videos are posted there. $3 a.m. guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys. For those of you who are going to continue to trade tonight, make sure to use proper risk management. And for everyone else, I'll see you in the funny papers.